Back up the hillside, and Emily and Jess are inside the barn. They have a piece of paper saying the square name. Okay, you're gonna put that on your artifacts, let them lay on the table inside the barn. When you come tonight, pick them up and bring them back down. At the end of the program tonight, there'll be a box just like this here. I should say a bucket. Okay, and we'll put all the good artifacts in that bucket, and I'll take them back to Nixon.
Well, we made it back. People signing out.
You say yours down there.
They're a little tired today. Some of them actually did some work. Got a little dirt on them, but that's good. And we're getting ready now to come back this evening when all the parents and the visitors are going to be there. While we were eating, there was a little bit of a rain shower, and as a result, as you can see, the road is a bit underwater. And as a result, we're going to be turning around and trying to find another way to get back to Codorus State Park. Quite a little flood. Well, we made it finally through the floods and everything else, and we're back here at Codorus State Park, Marianne Furnace Site, and there's actually people here ready to go on the excursion.
Start here. Actually, start with me, and then Dan Rowe, the York County Heritage Trust, is going to do something about something else about Marianne. Then you'll go down to the site, and the students kind of take over from there. Okay, so you get bored out of your gourd for the first 40 minutes, and the highlight's the last stop, right? I'm Jerry Jones, York County Parks. If you don't know me, I'm a program coordinator, a geologist, archaeologist, and kind of been doing archaeology weeks for about 18 years or so, someplace. And I always give a lot of credit to the students because they are the ones out here. One of the students told me today that they are cheap pay.
I'm just going to elaborate a little bit more on the history of the area, a little bit more specific to what Jerry mentioned. But to start, if you look behind you, to give you the lay of the land, first of all these buildings were not here in the 1700s, but I just want to draw your attention to the house, the spring house over here. We don't know the exact date, 1850s, 1860s, but local rumor tells you that the bricks were recycled from the furnace. So you could be looking at the recycled furnace structure with those buildings. In the barn itself, again, 19th century structure, not 18th century.
Disappointing to come to Puddles. You want to?
Well, I guess tomorrow's that's going to be the first thing. Yes, did a very good job.
Yeah, but it's actually pretty cool. How deep is that? I want to show how deep it was. We found some manufactured iron, a big piece of it, but we don't know what it was made into. And
here's another square here. Nice job, Jack.
this is hardly a brick, which is
Well, it's Friday morning, and we're starting out this morning inside of Nixon also because it's raining outside a little bit, and we don't want to get wet. So we're in here, getting signed in, preparing, and hopefully waiting for the rain to end. Examining all the exhibits in Nixon.
Squares and a half, but 11 o'clock, half of the squares are going to go with the band to do your program today. We'll have lunch at 11:30, and then after lunch, the other half will go with Dan for the program.
Well, everybody's busy, digging, getting cleaned up. Look at these notes. Aren't they something? They just can't keep the students from taking notes. finding all these great artifacts. This square was just moved out to where the other people are, so they wouldn't be so lonely back there.
Because
This is called brushing off a piece of stone. Make sure it isn't an artifact. Well, we're cleaning up some artifacts down here. Sometimes you have to use a toothbrush. Get all the nooks and crannies nice and clean. This is manufactured iron. Well, they found a nice brick, almost completely there. Now they're going to write this thing up. We can find a pencil in amongst the stuff. There's almost a pencil. There, magic marker. Good enough. All the information goes there. Now we're going to try and find one of these plastic bags and place that in there.
hand it to me.
Good idea to keep your stuff organized well so you know exactly where it is. This way it's safe. It'll be a tight fit, but maybe we can do it.
The squirrel's throwing mud now.
There. Almost in. Now. And in there goes the paper. Close the bag. Make sure the brick doesn't escape. It'll be a tight fit. Put it aside. Put the things neatly back in the box. That.
The black charcoal dust is very shallow. It's only 10 inches. And then here it dips down to 22. So it's dipping toward the bank. And we dug this as one lens. That was a boo-boo. And if you don't have straight walls and flat floors, you can't pick it up. So that's good, Jimmy. So when we come back, we'll just write it up.
It's lunchtime also.
All right, one thing to keep in mind while you're doing this, of course, 1700s, maybe about 40% of the population can read and write. All right, so if that was a talent that you possessed, if you were educated, it's a very good skill to have, right? You probably work for a lot of governments, a lot of courts, and a lot of military officers wanted aides that could write because that's how all their orders, information would get around, right? You'd wake up early in the morning and just write, transcribe, copy, so on all day long. There's also no delete key, backspace, right? Make a mistake, you'd have to start over. You guys are too young for typewriters. You know what a typewriter is?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was the same problem with typewriters, right? You messed up, have to start over again. You can hold it straight up and down, but a little bit at an angle. A little bit more than you would with a pencil. Well, right, what gets easier is ink. Ink becomes easier to produce in the 1800s, but the next step up from a quill pen is a fountain pen. They're really expensive today, but the ink sits on the top. And then a normal pen, the benefit is there's ink in there stored. Right, that's basically the technology.
As you can see, this is what the furnace looked like. Beautiful drawing. Detail. The quill and pen. Such talent.
That's nice looking at pyramid.
Work is really continuing now as they race to get these holes filled in.
I don't know how much more to make it obvious that I told one.
Everybody's working really hard. Get these things capped off in a couple minutes. so we can head back and have a successful end of the week. Cleaning out our shoes of all the dirt and rocks and stuff that's collected in there.
Yes, you can. No, I am. Nathan, move. I have an idea.
Nathan, no. Use the shovel.
Yeah.
All the stuff's getting ready, carried across the street, put away. Packing up, ready to end it for the week.